Formation of sand dunes. Sand dunes are created when wind-blown sand accumulates in a specific area, typically in deserts, coastal regions, or near large bodies of water. The sand is often deposited by wind carrying particles from a source, like a beach or desert, and drops them when the wind slows down. Over time, these particles pile up, forming the distinctive shapes of sand dunes. The size and shape of a dune are influenced by factors such as the amount of sand available, wind speed, and the presence of obstacles that can trap the sand. Wind as the primary force. Wind is the primary force behind the movement and shaping of sand dunes. As wind blows across the surface of a dune, it picks up and transports sand particles. The windward side of the dune, known as the staw side, is where sand is eroded and carried up the slope. Once the wind loses energy, it drops the sand particles on the leeward side, known as the slip face, where they settle and contribute to the dune's growth. This process causes the dune to gradually move in the direction of the prevailing winds. Types of dunes. Different types of sand dunes form depending on wind patterns and sand availability. For example, crescent-shaped Barchan dunes form in areas with unidirectional winds and limited sand supply. In contrast, star dunes form in regions where wind direction varies, causing the dune to grow in multiple directions. These different shapes result from the way wind interacts with the landscape, influencing how sand is transported and deposited. Dune migration. Dunes are not static. They migrate over time due to the continuous movement of sand by the wind. This migration can happen slowly or rapidly, depending on wind strength and consistency. In some cases, dunes can move several meters in a single year. This movement can impact the environment, as migrating dunes can bury vegetation, alter ecosystems, and even pose challenges to human infrastructure like roads and buildings. Seasonal changes and dune movement. Seasonal changes in wind patterns can also affect the movement and shape of sand dunes. In many regions, winds are stronger during certain times of the year, leading to more significant dune migration during those periods. Conversely, during calmer seasons, dune movement may slow down, allowing vegetation to establish and stabilize the sand. These seasonal variations contribute to the dynamic and ever-changing nature of sand dunes. Obstacles and dune stabilization. Obstacles like vegetation, rocks, or human-made structures can influence the movement of sand dunes. Vegetation, in particular, plays a crucial role in stabilizing dunes by trapping sand and reducing wind erosion. Plants with deep roots can hold the sand in place, preventing it from being easily carried away by the wind. In some areas, efforts to stabilize dunes include planting vegetation or constructing barriers to protect against dune migration. Impact of human activity. Human activity can significantly impact the movement and shape of sand dunes. Activities such as construction, mining, and off-road vehicle use can disturb the sand, leading to increased erosion and dune movement. In some cases, the removal of vegetation for development purposes can destabilize dunes, causing them to shift more rapidly. Understanding the impact of these activities is essential for managing and preserving sand dune ecosystems. Adaptation of flora and fauna. Despite the shifting nature of sand dunes, various plants and animals have adapted to live in these environments. Some plants have developed deep root systems to anchor themselves in the sand, while certain animals, like the dune beetle, have evolved to navigate and thrive in the constantly changing landscape. These adaptations highlight the resilience of life in even the most dynamic and challenging environments. Conclusion. Sand dunes are constantly in motion, shaped and moved primarily by the force of the wind. Their ever-changing forms and migration patterns reflect the dynamic processes of erosion, deposition, and stabilization. While natural forces play the most significant role in dune movement, human activities can also influence these delicate landscapes. Understanding the causes of dune movement and the factors that affect their shape is crucial for preserving these unique natural features and the ecosystems they support.